Good afternoon. My name is Sandy Rothschiller, and I'm one of the pastors at Prince of Peace in Burnsville, Minnesota. And this is one thing. This past week in the state of Minnesota, in our country, and in our world have been so difficult. It has been gut-wrenching to watch the video of George Floyd being killed. It's been gut-wrenching to watch some demonstrations go into total violence. It has been hard to realize the oppression that has been going on all around us and many not seeing it. So today we're going to take a look at how we can respond to oppression, how we can respond to violence. We're going to hear from the words and the stories of Jesus and how he talked about oppression and violence that was so present during his time while he was here on earth, and things just haven't changed. But Jesus came up with some ways to deal with oppression in ways that maybe we never thought of before. And so I'm going to read to you from the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter. And what's interesting about this story, this parable, is that many of us have heard this and thought, oh my goodness, Jesus just wants us to just not do anything and just give everything away in response to someone who is oppressing us. But that's not at all what Jesus says. Jesus encourages all who are oppressed to stand up for themselves, to know that they are equal, and to give them the strength to claim who they are as children of God. So I'm going to read from the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter, verses 39 through 41. But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer. But if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go also the 2nd mile. When I used to read that text, I used to think that Jesus just wanted us, anyone who's being oppressed, to just give up. But that's not at all what this meant at the time of Jesus. So let me explain. When you were a Jewish person, a Roman citizen had all kinds of power over you, political power, all kinds of power over you. And if you did something they didn't like, they could take their hand, their right hand, and slap you backhanded on your cheek. And that would let you know in that time period that you were less than them, that they were over you. They had the power over you. However, if you turned your other cheek and showed them your left cheek, then all of a sudden, if they wanted to hit you again, they would have to use their fist and they would have to punch you. Well, you only would use your fist and punch someone if they were your equal. You would only use your fist and punch someone if they were your equal. You would never punch someone who was below you. And so Jesus is saying, yep, they hit you on the right cheek, but then as you turn and give them your other cheek, you are showing them that you are their equal, and they will back away. The next part, if you were sued by anyone, then you were seen as less than. If you couldn't pay your bills, if you couldn't pay your rent, then you would be told that you had to give up your cloak in the court of law. And so if you were sitting in a court area and the law was all around you, all the people were around you, and you lost your case because you weren't able to pay your rent, you were less than your landlord, you were less than those who were forcing you to pay, maybe the Roman government, then you were expected to take your coat and give it to them because that's all you had left. When Jesus says, give them your cloak also, he means strip down to bare naked. Yep, give them all your undergarments as well. Well, that would not look well for those who were suing you. In fact, if you got to that point, then people would look down on you if you were the one suing somebody. And so all of a sudden, the person, the oppressor, looks awful, looks around, and everyone's looking down on the oppressor. And so to give them your cloak means to put you on an equal ground with the oppressor. And lastly, if someone asks you to pick up their bag and walk it, you need to go that mile, but then go a second mile. Well, if you were like me, I used to think, well, going the second mile means I can do it. I'm tough. I can do anything. I'm not going to let them get to me. It actually means more than that. In those days, if you were Jewish and you were living under the oppression of the Romans, a Roman soldier had a very heavy pack. And if you were in the street and you were Jewish, you could be talking with your friends, you could be shopping, you could be walking around. A Roman soldier could look at you and say, you carry my pack 1 mile. And as a Jew, you had to do it. And it just showed the oppression. Like, look at me. I am so much more powerful than you. I'm making you walk that 1 mile. That was the rule with my heavy, heavy pack. But then Jesus said, go the second mile. Well, a Roman soldier would never want you to go that second mile. No, because now all of a sudden, it's your choice. It's your choice. You are now equal to the one who is oppressing you. And any Roman soldier would not want you to go that extra mile, would not want anyone to see that you were willingly carrying their pack, because then they lose their power. So you see, Jesus was never encouraging those who were oppressed to just give up and just let someone continue to oppress them. No, Jesus was telling them, no, you can stand up for yourself in a nonviolent way. You can stand up and let others know that you are worthy and that you are a child of God and that you are no longer one who has to deal with that oppression. When that person oppresses you, you can turn around and show them, oh no, I am your equal. So as we move forward from this week where oppression has been brought before us in a way that many of us never realized, that we're all learning how we can support those who are oppressed. We can show that all people are children of God, and we can look inside of each one of us. How do we become peacemakers in the midst of all of the turmoil? How do we look at the oppression of our world and make a difference? Well, those are some things to really ponder, not only this week, but for the rest of our lives. Thanks for watching.